One of Disney World's moderate resorts transports you straight to the Caribbean. But should you stay there? Let's talk about it. Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is a resort located here in the Epcot and Hollywood Studios resort area, right on the Skyliner. It actually has the main Skyliner station here, and it is, as you could probably guess, Caribbean themed. I am going to switch between Caribbean and Caribbean, even though I believe that Caribbean is the proper pronunciation. Just a heads up for the rest of this video. Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is a very colorful, very large resort that is moderately priced in the moderate category and has a moderate number of amenities for that reason as well. If you are considering staying at Caribbean Beach Resort, you're going to want to watch this video. Today, I'm going to give you a quick overview of this hotel so that you can see if it's worth considering and you know everything you need to know before you stay here. Caribbean Beach Resort is one of the largest resorts in Disney World with 1,536 guest rooms. Most of the rooms have 2 queen beds, and a fold-down Murphy bed is also available in select rooms. This resort was opened in 1988. It is a moderate resort and it's characterized by vibrant colors with beach and island themes. Your room will be located in one of the 5 villages: Barbados, Jamaica, Martinique, Trinidad, and Aruba. And every time I'm here, I get that one song, that Beach Boys song, that's like, is it Beach Boys? Aruba, Jamaica, who is that? Ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda. Perceptions of this resort are a little bit controversial. It is incredibly spread out, so your room could be more than a 15-minute walk to the lobby or to the Skyliner station. It does have a pretty great location though, because it is a short Skyliner ride to Hollywood Studios or Epcot. It's also walkable to Riviera Resort, and of course that Skyliner can get you to Art of Animation, Pop Century, the Epcot resorts as well. As a moderate resort, this hotel has a nice balance of amenities versus like cost efficiency. It's not going to be the most expensive resort, but it's still going to be pretty nice. The lobby even has its own smell. It smells like coconut in the lobby, which is amazing. And there's a number of dining. There's some really nice pools, and there are a lot of pools. And of course the Skyliner is a great amenity as well. So Caribbean Beach has a lot going for it, but with being so spread out and being a little bit older than some other hotels, it can be controversial. It's not everyone's favorite. Rooms wise at this resort, you may have stayed in pirate rooms before. Those are going to be gone, but there are Little Mermaid over themes coming to many of the rooms here, which is really awesome. It's very tasteful, very nice version of a Little Mermaid theme, and I think if you have a Little Mermaid loving kiddo, it could be an awesome choice. Now, of course, the Skyliner is that main method of transportation, but if you need to get somewhere that isn't on the Skyliner, you'll be taking buses from Caribbean Beach. One of the major negatives here at this hotel is that there is an internal bus loop. So if you hop on the bus, you're gonna have to stop at 5 different stops within the hotel before you move on to the park, or on your way back, you might have some stops before you get to your stop. It can make the bus rides a lot longer than if your hotel just has 1 bus stop, and that can be a little bit irritating. Now, on the other hand, you can actually take an internal shuttle to get from the lobby to your section of the room. So if you are in one of those further places, just wait and hop on one of those internal shuttles and you'll get over to your room a lot easier, a lot faster. But the bus can be a hassle. It's one of the biggest complaints we see about Caribbean Beach Resort. So definitely something to be aware of here. The Skyliner is a big plus, the internal bus loop, big minus. Now, I've stayed at every Disney hotel, and Caribbean Beach is not one of my favorites. I think the rooms are a little on the older side, so I'm glad some of them are getting an update. And I think with how spread out the hotel is, it can be a bit of a hassle. However, I do really love the theme. I think this is a gorgeous hotel. It's actually one of my favorites to walk around, walking around Barefoot Bay here and seeing the colorful hotels and the Skyliner going by and this beautiful Spanish fort themed pool here. There's just a lot to see here at Caribbean Beach that's just really beautiful. So there's certainly pros and cons to this hotel, and some people love it for very good reason. Food-wise, Caribbean Beach is known for a number of restaurants. Their quick service restaurant is located in the lobby, and it is Centertown Market. It's inspired by a Caribbean street market setting with Latin and Caribbean options, as well as more traditional favorites and a grab and go. I enjoyed my jerk chicken here. I wouldn't say it's the best thing I've ever eaten in Disney World when I stayed here last, but it's still a nice option, and I think having a food court is kind of a necessity at these bigger hotels. But the food court is certainly not the only food option here at Caribbean Beach, and honestly, I think a lot of the food options here are super underrated. Specifically, one of those options is Banana Cabana. This is the pool bar that feels not like a regular hotel pool bar. It's this beautiful space that you can come and sit in the shaded air and have delicious Caribbean pool drinks while looking out over the Fuentes del Mar pool. You can also get to-go drinks to go drink by the pool, which is awesome. And just next door is Sebastian's Bistro. Yes, a Sebastian themed restaurant, which is very cool, and a very underrated restaurant in Disney World. This is a family style meal that serves up favorite recipes inspired by the flavors of the Caribbean. And I have found the food here to be really, really tasty. They also have house-made coconut pineapple bread pudding, which is just as good, maybe not quite as good as the one at Ohana. But you also have access to the drinks from Banana Cabana. So Sebastian's Bistro, if you're staying at Caribbean Beach, or even if you're staying at Riviera Resort and maybe want some Caribbean eats, this is a great spot to consider looking into. The final restaurant is actually going to be located across the resort. That's one thing to keep in mind about bigger resorts like this, is that some of the dining might be more spread out, so it's easier to access from some of those rooms that are pretty far from the lobby. That's Spyglass Grill. Now, Spyglass Grill doesn't have anything show-stopping, but it does have some just like easy to grab favorites over on that side of the hotel, just in case you're hungry and you're over there, and maybe you're swimming at the pool over there. Now, Fuentes del Maro is a really cool Spanish fort / pirate themed pool. It's cut 0 entry, and it's even got 2 water slides, including a 102-foot long one. There's also man of war cannons up on the fort, so little kids can really get immersed in the magic of hanging out at this like fortress in history, which is awesome. Now, this is not the only pool here at Caribbean Beach Resort. Each of the villages has a leisure pool, so it's not going to have the activities this pool does. It's not necessarily going to have like the slides and all of that, but probably going to be a lot quieter, probably going to be a lot closer to your room. And I'll say, when I was sailing over here to start this video on the Skyliner, most of the pools that we passed over had 2 to 5 people in them. Not very crowded. And the Fuentes del Maro pool is large and lively, but there's still like plenty of room. It's not super crowded in there. Caribbean Beach also has a relatively large hot tub here with a 12-person spa. And this pool is home to this very cool shipwreck pirate themed splash pad for kiddos to play on. This is one of my favorite splash pads in Disney World. It's one of the ones that really makes me wish I was a little kid, because I love pirates and I would love to play on that thing. Look how fun that is. Look at the pirate crow at the top. Don't you just want to play on that? Because I do. Oh, the bucket. As this is a moderate resort, it's going to have access to a number of activities. One of those is this marina, which has fishing, where you can experience catch and release fishing with a guided excursion that leaves from right here. That does cost extra, so if that's the kind of thing you want to do, you're going to want to budget it into your trip. But there are free recreation activities as well. There's giant chess, there's giant Connect 4, giant Jenga I saw, there's cornhole, lots of different pool activities that you can play while you're here. There's also access to Movie Under the Stars, which is something you can find at every Disney World resort, where weather permitting, you can watch a movie under the stars at 8:30 each night, and the movie does change. So if you're around the resort, movie time at 8:30. It's one of my favorite things to do when I'm staying at a Disney hotel. At this hotel, you're also going to find a lot of beaches. Each village has its own beach, which you can go and sit out in one of the cloth hammocks, sit in some of those Adirondack chairs or the beach chairs, and just like have a really pleasant, nice afternoon. Now, it's a million billion degrees here, so just keep that in mind. And you can't get in the water because it's not safe for swimming. So maybe do a pool / beach day. Experience both, or spend some time on the beach at night. There's also a fire pit on the Martinique beach, which is where you'll find the Movie Under the Stars, and there's nightly s'mores at the fire pit. In addition, this resort also has a sand volleyball court as well as a jogging trail, and there's a playground as well. So lots to do around the hotel. One of my favorite things is just to walk, because this is a really big hotel with a lot of walking space. It's very beautiful, but of course that's also a negative because of how big the hotel is. Now, I've talked about that Skyliner station as well. That one is located near Aruba and Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take ya. But if you're over on this side of the resort, maybe in Martinique, you can walk pretty easily to the Riviera Resort Station. It might be closer to your hotel room, so make sure to keep an eye on that when you get your map. It might be a little easier to get to and from the park by taking the Skyliner from Riviera instead of from Caribbean Beach, even though you're staying at Caribbean Beach. Now, I have done a full tour of Caribbean Beach Resort, and I did stay in the now defunct Pirate Rooms. So if you want to see that tour that has all the information about the hotel, you can go ahead and check that out. But let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me do an updated tour that has maybe the new Little Mermaid themed rooms, to learn a lot more about Caribbean Beach Resort. I'd be happy to do so. Now, just a little bonus note about Caribbean Beach. One of my favorite things about it is this little island in the middle of the resort. It's a great way to get around because it does mean you can cross Barefoot Bay without having to walk all around it. And this little lake is pretty big, actually, so it's a pretty long walk to get around it. But this little island has the playground on it. It has some like porch swings, and it has a lot of beautiful foliage. And walking paths, it is definitely on the smaller side. It's not like you're gonna be doing like a hike on this island, but it's a really pleasant place to hang out. It's quiet, it's relaxing, and it feels like being out in nature, and maybe feels a little bit like you're a little more south than Florida and actually in the Caribbean. There are some hammocks out here, as well as the playground, which we will walk over to. So really nice kind of basic playground over here for your kiddos. It's really hot, so there's no one over here. I like these stone crocodiles though. The main attraction for me of this island is definitely gonna be those swing seats though that look out on the water. You can take this path out to the rest of the resort over towards Spyglass Grill and some of the other pools and the other like island neighborhoods, but there's this really cool, from sunrise to sunset, you can walk kind of out on this branch of the island where it's very peaceful and breezy, and there are covered swings and like Adirondack chairs and stuff. Are there still swings, or did they replace them all with Adirondack chairs? You can see the resort goes further that way. You can see that bridge down there. It continues going past that, so it's not exactly a close together, easy to get around resort. They've even got a real banana tree growing real bananas. And that's why they call the bar Banana Cabana, probably. What are these called? I want to plant them in my yard. Please let me know in the comments if you know what this is. Is it a pineapple? No, that can't be right. But that's kind of an overview of Caribbean Beach Resort. Pretty much everything you need to know as a basis to decide whether or not to stay here. If you like what you see, you're still considering it, go ahead and check out my full tour of Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. And don't forget to let me know in the comments if you want an update with those Little Mermaid rooms in the tour. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and now go watch my tour of Caribbean Beach. I'll see you there. Bye!